This video will cover how to create and set up a party as an event. Step 1 will be creating an event. Begin on the admin page. Look for the section labeled Product Management and click on Products. Click on Add Product. And we have a few different options here to choose from. We're going to choose Event. And you can use Event to create a birthday party or any kind of an event that a customer can schedule or reserve for themselves. This is the first page we have to fill out here. The ones with the red box next to them are required. The rest are optional, but I'll be covering what each one does. Product category is the first one. We get to choose from an existing category, or we can create a new category. I'm going to create a new category, and I'm going to call this Parties. Product categories are not customer facing. Next we get to name the product. This one I'm just going to call Birthday Party. And in the next field we can fill out a description of the product, and we can choose where this displays, whether it shows up on the invoice online, whether it shows up on print and email invoices, or all of the above. The next field is cost, and this is how much it costs you to host this party. So you can put a number here if you'd like. You can also leave this at 0. That's fine as well. The next one is base price, and there are a few different ways you can set up pricing for parties. For this example, I'm going to show you how to do a party with a base price of $100 that covers 10 guests, and each additional guest will be another $10. So we'll put 100 in here for the base price, and we'll show you how to do the rest of the guest count options in the next step. But for now, we'll put $100 in for the base price. The deposit amount is how much you require the customer to pay up front when booking this party. So we can put in $50 here for the deposit. Auto-calculate tip percentage is an optional feature. If you'd like to automatically calculate a tip into the price of this party, feel free to utilize this. If not, you can leave this at 0 as well. If the customer is booking this party online, the auto-calculated tip will be factored into their total upon checkout. Product code is the name that will appear on the schedule page when this party is the default for a schedule block. So when you're looking at the schedule page and you want to book this party, this will be the name that shows up. I'm going to just copy birthday party and paste that here in product code, so that it displays on the schedule page as birthday party as well. The next option is barcode, and this is more applicable to the other product types, such as something you'd sell in the point of sale. I'll leave this blank for now. Allowed discount for item is something we can set after the event is created, but for now we'll skip over that. Hide from customer, most cases you want to leave this on no. If you want to hide this on the invoice, you can set it to yes, but I'll leave that on no. The next two are serialized product and regex, and if you are serializing your product using the regex formula, you can set that information here. If that's not something you are doing, skip over these two and don't fill them out. The next two boxes are minimum pre-order time and maximum pre-order time. And minimum pre-order time is the amount of time you require in advance for a customer to book a party. So if you need 24 hours notice for someone to book a party, go ahead and put that number in here for minimum pre-order time. The pre-order times only affect a customer's ability to book through the online booking page. You and your staff can still book any available time for a customer through the schedule page. The next box is maximum pre-order time, and you can use this to limit how far out a customer can book a party. So if you wanted to limit people from booking further out than 6 months, you could put a number in here. I'm going to leave this at 0, which you can also do, and that will not put a limit on how far out customers can book parties. I'm going to leave active on yes as we're creating this party. If you need to deactivate a party in the future and not use it anymore, you can set this to no. And the next box is taxes. I'm going to check the sales tax box here. If you want to include the sales tax in the price of the party, in other words, if you want to pay the sales tax, go ahead and check this box as well. For this demonstration, I'll just leave the sales tax checked, and I will not have tax included checked. And the last one is available for online booking. If you want this event to be something that customers can book themselves through the online booking page, Leave this on yes. If you'd like to hide it from customers on the online booking page and only have it be bookable by you or staff on the schedule page on the back end, set this to no. And after we have filled all that out, we can click Add Product. And you can see we have a few more tabs up here. I'm going to move through these and talk about these in the next few steps. Next, we'll look at setting your guest count options. Now that we have successfully created our birthday party event, let's take a look at the next tab, labeled Event Options. The first option here is Schedule Button Color, and this is the color of the button on the schedule page when this party is the default for a particular schedule block. Next option is Event Time Adjustment. If you need to slide the start or end time of this party around on the schedule page, for example, if this party starts 10 minutes after it's actually booked, you can enter that number in here. For purposes of this demo, I'll just leave that on 0. The next option is whether or not we want to track children and adults separately, or whether we want a flat guest count. And for this demonstration, I'll show you how to do a flat guest count. The first guest count option is guest capacity, and this is the absolute limit for guests to book one of these parties. So for example, this could be the total number of people that can actually fit in one of the party rooms. I'll put in 20. The next option is the minimum guest count, and you can use this to require a certain number of guests to book one of these parties. You can also leave this on 0 if you don't want to require a minimum, and that's fine too. The next option is standard guest count, and I'm going to set this to 10. And this is the number of guests included with the base price, which we set on the Info tab previously, which was $100. So right now I'm saying that $100 includes 10 guests. Now they can still book a party with any number lower than 10 because we didn't set a minimum, but they'll be charged a base price of $100 as if they had booked with 10 guests. The next option is maximum guest count. And this is a limit for the customer when booking a party online. So for example, if you don't want the customer to book more than 15 people in a party when reserving this online, set this to 15. They can still call in and you can book up to 20 on the schedule page yourself, but this actually limits the customer online from going over 15. The next option is additional guest fee. This is the amount we want to charge per person over the standard guest count. So for example, if they have 11 people in this party and we're charging $10 for each additional guest over 10, their total will come out to $110 plus tax. If they have 13 people, it will be $130, etc. And the next and last option for fees here is Exceed Max Guest Fee. And this can be used if you are using the maximum guest count to limit the customers online. If you want to charge an additional fee, if they go over the maximum guest count, you can actually set another tier of pricing here. So for example, if you want to charge $15 a person if they go over 15, put 15 here and Exceed Max Guest Fee. And remember that the customer cannot exceed the max guest count themselves online. They would need to call in and you would have to do it for them through the schedule page. So that's the only way they could go over 15 here for the guest count. So what we're looking at right now is a party with a base price of $100 that includes 10 guests. Now there's no minimum guest count here required to book the party, so they can book less than that, but they'll still be charged for 10 guests because that's the base price. Each additional guest they add to the party will be charged another $10, and they can book up to 15 themselves online. The customer can add over 15 people to the party if they call in and you book this for them through the schedule page, or if they do this with you in person. You can go up to 20 here since that's the guest capacity. Now every guest over 15 will actually be charged $15. If you do not wish to limit how many guests a customer can add to their party online, make the maximum guest count the same number as the guest capacity, and this will essentially be setting the limit for the customer to be the same number as the limit you've set in place for the party. Now for purposes of this demonstration, we will be using the maximum guest count, so I'll be leaving that on 15. And the last option on the page is Customer Pay Entire Event Price. Now since we set the deposit amount to be $50 on the previous step, I'm going to leave this on No. If you set this to yes, it will override that deposit amount and charge the customer the entire price up front. And now I'm going to save changes, and move to the next tab, which is online booking. And the last guest fee option here is include guest fees. And I'm setting this to yes. A good rule of thumb is to always have this set to yes. If you have this set to no, the customer's total online when they're checking out will not include the additional guest fees or the maximum guest fees. So, good rule of thumb, always have that set to yes. In this last step, we'll take a look at setting some options for online booking. Back on the Online Booking tab, you'll see the products purchasable with this event section. You can check products here that already exist in the software and are set to be available for online booking, and these will be added to the event's add-on items menu. Once we save changes, the customer will be able to add these products to their cart when checking out for this particular party. If a product is grayed out and you cannot check the box, go back to the product list. Click on the name of the product and scroll down to Available for Online Booking. Set this to yes and save changes. Once the products have been selected as add-on items for the event you are creating, they will be available online for the customer to add to their cart on step number 4 of the booking process, just like this. The last tab is the Images tab. You can upload an image of the party here for customers to see when booking this party online. The image will show up when the customer is selecting a party to book. Now that the party is created, let's go back to the Info tab and scroll down. We'll see a few more options that weren't there before. The first is Online Booking Snippet, and this is a short version of the description that shows up first in the online booking process. The customer will see the more detailed description later on. The last section on the Info tab is labeled Consumer Descriptions and allows you to change what we call children and adults for the party if you have a split guest count, or what we just call people if you have a flat guest count for both. Down below that, we can add descriptions for children and adults or for guests. When we're done, hit Save Changes, and this will be reflected online when the customer goes to book this party. You can see this now says for up to 10 guests, plus $10 a guest, up to 15, and below the picture is the description of guests, and we wrote people attending the party. And that concludes our video on how to create an event in Party Center software. Thank you for watching.